Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Clair Obscur reaction. This is a song title that I am not going to try and attempt to say, but it was requested by Ryan and my executive producer Q. They saw that Lumiere had been done and they were like, hey, I've got another one, so here's this one. This is 11 minutes long. So I'm going to do my thing where I will listen to it, but I'll be giving my general thoughts during the song. So there's probably not going to be too much post-song reaction since I'm going to be getting most of my thoughts out during the song itself, but that's how I do things here anyway. So without further ado and much excitement after the experience I had with Lumiere, let's go! I love this cover photo too, by the way. I don't really know anything about the game, but that's pretty sick. Oh, I thought they were gonna keep doing that layered thing. This is already cool. Did I hear a little bit of Lumiere in there for a second? Ooh, it changed the rhythm. God, what power on those notes. Oh my God. Jesus. God, the power. I'm afraid to talk over it. Oh, I heard that. Really powerful. Is that Lorien doing that again? I know he sang in the last one. His focus on vocals is phenomenal. Just breathtaking on the amount of focus he gives vocalists as an instrument. I love this sound design stuff too, just moving between the ears. The like wind kind of thing going on. Ooh. Very heavily compressed bass rhythm there. It's like pulsating going. Again, the dynamics. Pulling the vocals back here. The power is not gone. The layering of the male vocal in there. You feel that texture in his voice, that rasp, but also the clarity of the other layers. Like, for real. You'll always catch me vibing with a violin. It's just relentless. I love this blend of power and pain. There's beauty in it, there's clarity, but there's like a raw feeling. A great vocal blend. It's been a while since I've gotten this hyped over vocals. Also, really high, like, bell tones in there. There's so many interesting choices in this. Cycling rhythmic tone here, like a helicopter. Back into it. Whoa. I don't know if that was just the compression. That was haunting there for a second. I'm feeling so many things in this song. The way that those vocals are processed, it's like they're compressed, like crushed together, except for at the immediate transient right at the start. It's like it's sidechained to itself. Like, how did they do that? This is so cool. That violin's like, I'm not being upstaged. Separating them in the ears using that stereo space here, allowing them their own room. It's so nice that they're not like stepping on each other. Woo. God, that's like preach it levels of power there. Went from like pain to a battle cry there at the end. Ooh. Beautiful, beautiful run. And I thought Lumiere was great. That came in really aggressive. many gallons of water do you think they needed for these performances? I think their placement in the mix is what's getting me now. I'm noticing little things as we go. Oh man, every single time they come back in, I'm hearing something different. See, now they're balanced. Obviously his tone much warmer here, but bruh. Holy shit. All right. That did not feel like 11 minutes. There are so many things about this production that was just gorgeous. And of course, I was giving my opinion as the song went, but there are some definite questions I have about just like how they approached certain aspects of this. A lot of it, I think, was just the way they handled compression and also balancing the vocals therein. Like having his really rough vocals like further in the back, having her warmer vocals in the front, but he was more on the right side, she was more on the left, so you got this kind of dynamic split between them. That they did the same thing with the violin and the electric guitar when those solos were going on. I think that's just a good use of overall space in the ears. Having them separated allows you to experience them both more evenly, but also his vocals, those like really rough vocals, were way in the back, more as a supporting role to her, kind of adding this pained twinge on the back of this beautiful, more front-bound vocal. And that contrast is just so haunting. I think a lot of this relies on heavy compression, especially that effect I was talking about on her solo vocals in that one section, where it sounded like, again, I'll kind of restate this, but it sounded like it was overly compressed, like really compressed, and then they like opened the transients, which are basically just the tones right at the beginning of a note, and they only opened for that, and then it compressed immediately again. So you get this like really small just window of space in the sound that sounds really sharp and loud and bright, and then it's like it hits a brick wall because it gets compressed and you don't hear much of that anymore, and it kind of finds this equilibrium in the center. So you just kind of get these little like immediate stings of her voice in your ear before it backs off and allows more room for the rest to be in there. And that's just good compositional awareness, good production awareness. I think in this case, where I would usually be very disappointed by how overly compressed everything seemed to be, it works here because they're using the vocals as the lead instrument, which is something you just don't see too often. Usually when you have vocals on something, you're like, well, it's the vocalist. Of course, they're in the front. That's a pretty consistent thing. But they weren't treating these vocals as vocalists. They were treating them as an instrument. They were blending it in and out of these other sounds. And you had all these other instruments in the back. They were really pressed back there comparatively in the mix. The only times you ever had any instruments that matched the vocals as far as volume and presence in the mix was the violin and the guitar for that time. I think Lumiere had a more standard treatment of vocals. Those sounded like they were placed as vocals. Everything else was a little bit more present and kind of, you know, everything was joining the vocals up at the front. This, they were like, we want you to hear the vocals. That's where the emotion is. That's where the feel is. That has to be at the forefront. And they put it there. Everything else was a literal backseat in the mix. And that's just so neat to hear it, especially with all of the layering and all the compression kind of making one unit, you know, between the female vocalist and the male vocalist. All of their layers, all of their tone, all of their beauty and all of their pain was in one sound. It didn't feel like two vocals. It sounded like one vocal line with multiple people on it. And that's just, it might sound weird, but from a production standpoint, That is so unique to me. I've only heard that a few other times in my life, and this is definitely the most modern take of that I've heard. But like I said, I'm not going to yap too much on this. That's where I'll call it. I had most of my thoughts during the reaction, so thank you all so very much for watching. If you haven't seen my Lumiere video, go check that one out. If you have another song you want me to get to from Clair Obscur, drop in the comments below and I will do my best as always. Or if, like Ryan, you want to guarantee that I listen to something, there are tiers on my Patreon and my YouTube memberships that will guarantee a request from me. Doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter what it's from, how epic it is, how weird it is, I'll listen to it. But otherwise, if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for more stuff in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!